Om. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samasta Janakalyani Niratam Karunamaya Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahma Vidvaram Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Jnana Rupena Samstita Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha. Hari Om and welcome to the 9th day of Navaratri. Very, very holy day for all of us. So to begin with, we'll have a Shrikant chant verses 5 and 6 from yesterday, and then we will move forward.
Karmi kusangi kubuddhi kudasah kulacharaheenah kadacharaleenah kudrishti kuvakya prabandha sadaham gatistvam tvameka bhavani Gatistvam tvameka bhavani Rajesham Ramesham Mahesham Suresham Dinesham Ishiteshwaram va kadachit Najanami chanyat sadaham sharanye Gatistvam tvameka bhavani Gatistvam tvameka bhavani.
So yesterday, what we saw was verses of atonement. We saw that sometimes when we do something wrong and we want to make up for it, we want to, apologize for it, the best way is to accept it, is to accept that we've done something wrong. And here, specifically in the 5th verse, Adi Shankaracharya ji says, I am the doer of bad karmas. I engage in bad company. And my mind, he tells us that the seeker thinks the mind is also full of negative thoughts. And sometimes we don't also know how to be the dasa of Bhagavan. And we don't follow the glory or the lineage of our family. And we are immersed in bad habits sometimes. Sometimes our vision is improper or negative. Sometimes our words also are not very good. But he says, when we take refuge in Bhavani, when we accept our weaknesses, whatever they are, then she can save us, she can help us and guide us to the right path. Then in verse number 6, we saw that the seeker doesn't know any other god, doesn't know Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, Indra, Devata, doesn't know Surya Devata, doesn't know Chandra Devata, but all the seeker knows is Bhavani. And this is very, very beautiful because in the episode of Mahishasura, which we saw yesterday, nobody could defeat Mahishasura, only Devi. And so she was the only one, and all of the energies of all the gods came into Devi, and they gave her all of their weapons, and she was able to defeat them. But in this defeat, we learned that she taught us to go beyond form, beyond Vikshepa Shakti. And this is the symbol of the defeat of Mahishasura. So at the same time, we see Devi in her ever beautiful form, but also she tells us to go to the formless. Today now we will see verse number 7. So we'll have Shrikant, please chant.
विवादे विषादे प्रमादे प्रवासे जले चानले पर्वते शत्रुमध्ये अरण्ये शरण्ये सदा मां प्रपाहि गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी.
So here in this verse particularly, what we do is we invoke Devi as our protector. She's our protector, and we say, Mam Prapahi, please protect me. In what? Vivade. Vivade means in dispute. Vishade, in grief. Pramade, in negligence. Pravase, in travel. Jale, in waters, raging waters. Anale, cha anale, means in fire. Parvate, in the mountains. Shatru madhye, in between enemies. Aranye, in the forest. And we call her as Sharanye, O Devi, who is our ultimate seat of refuge. Sada mam prapahi, please always protect me. Gatistwam, gatistwam, twameka bhavani. You are my only gati, my refuge. Now, what's very beautiful about Devi is that we can see actually in our Puranas, in our stories, the different places that she protects us. And so the first one we will take up, Vivada. Vivada, dispute. So once there was this king, Nahusha. And this Nahusha, he was a very good king, very noble, virtuous, very wise. And so Indra Devata, the one who was posted as Indra, had to take some leave, to take some time off. So the gods were thinking who would take his place. And so they called Nahusha. They thought this Nahusha was a very, very noble king. They said, okay, let Nahusha take his place. So Nahusha took the place of Indra, took that posting. And what happened is, he became obsessed with his power. He became obsessed with his power, that he would do all kinds of negative things, and he drove all the devatas away. So somewhere there, he was a good king, but sometimes even when good people come to power, their minds become very corrupt. And that's what happened to Nahusha. Now this Nahusha wanted to be with Shachi, and Shachi is the wife of Indra. So he wanted to be with Shachi because she was so beautiful, so wonderful. And so he asked her. And of course she said, no, I am married to Indra. But again, he kept on persuading her, and he kept on saying that I am the posting of Indra now, and you have to become my wife. And so Shachi was in a dispute. She was in a vivada. She was in a dilemma. She didn't know what to do because Indra Devata had gone, and now there's this very powerful Nahusha who all of a sudden comes to her and says, okay, I want you to be my wife. So Shachi thinks for a moment, and she goes to Brihaspati. She goes to Brihaspati, and Brihaspati tells her, Shachi, you invoke Goddess Saraswati. Invoke Goddess Saraswati because she is Vak Shakti. And so Shachi prays to Goddess Saraswati. And she prays to her, and Goddess Saraswati tells Shachi, tell Nahusha you'll marry him, but tell him one condition, that he has to come in a palanquin which is carried by rishis. And so Shachi, she did this. She went to Nahusha and she said, I will marry you, but you must come to me in a palanquin that is carried by rishis. And so Nahusha said, okay. Shachi said, every god and goddess has a vahana, right? So if you take Durga Devi, she has a Vahana, she has a lion, or sometimes you see a tiger. If you take Shiva Bhagwan, he has Nandi. If you take Ganesha Bhagwan, he has a mouse. So she said, every god, goddess has a Vahana. You also are taking the post of Indra. You come in this palanquin. And so he says, yeah, fine. And he calls all the rishis to carry him on a palanquin. And of course, the rishis were very happy because they could predict the future. They could tell everything. And specifically, when they were carrying the palanquin, what happened was it was very slow. And because they were of different heights, it was uneven. It was sitting uneven and it was very, very slow. And especially this Agastya Rishi was quite slow. And so this Nahusha kicked Agastya Rishi on the back and said, Sarpa, Sarpa. And Sarpa means go. In Sanskrit, Sarpa means go, but it also means snake. So Agastya Rishi got mad at him and said, because you said Sarpa, I curse you to be a snake. And so this Nahusha became a snake, and Nahusha could only be freed in Dwapar Yuga when he meets Yudhishthira in Mahabharata. So those who have studied Mahabharata, we know the episode where Bhima gets lost in the forest and he's entangled by Nahusha, the snake. And only when he debates with Yudhishthira, then he becomes free. So this is what happened. Nahusha became a snake and Shachi became free. And this was because of the grace of Saraswati Devi. So in dispute, Goddess comes to us as Vak Shakti. She comes as that Saraswati Devi who tells us how to speak, how to say, and what to say, because she embodies all speech. Then we go to Vishada. Vishada means grief. So in chapter 1 of the Bhagavad Gita, we say Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Now, there was a time when there was a lot of Vishada also. Where was the Vishada? In Devaki and Vasudeva's life. There was a lot of grief. There was a lot of Vishada. Because if you remember, they were they were kept in prison by Kamsa. Because there was a prophecy that the 8th child would kill Kamsa. So Devaki and Vasudeva were in sadness. They were engulfed in sadness, in deep, deep sorrow. And what happened is, everybody knows the 8th child was born. And when that 8th child was born, of course, Vasudeva took that child to Yashoda Maya, right? She took the child to Yashoda Maya and Nanda. But guess what happened? That same time, Yashoda Maya in Gokul, she gave birth. She gave birth, but she fell asleep. So she didn't know whether it was a boy or a girl. And so Vasudeva took the boy, brought it to Yashoda, and took the girl from Yashoda, took the daughter from Yashoda and brought it to Devaki and Vasudeva. And so this daughter was nothing but Devi, Yoga Maya. And so when the baby started crying, all of the guards told Kamsa, the 8th child is born, the 8th child is born. And so Kamsa was getting to jail to slay or destroy this child. And this child came as Devi with 8 arms. And she said, you want to destroy me? I'm Yoga Maya. What are you talking about? You can't destroy me. That 8th child has already been born and your death is coming soon, O Kamsa. And in this way, that Devi saves the life of Lord Krishna. She is called the sister of Lord Krishna. She is the Bhagini when Yudhishthira praises her, we'll see later. She is the sister of Lord Krishna because she saves Lord Krishna. Otherwise, then Lord Krishna wouldn't have been saved. We wouldn't see his leelas. Some of you might say, but if Kamsa came to Krishna, wouldn't Krishna defeat him? That is true, but we wouldn't have all the beautiful leelas. of Lord Krishna with Putana and Bakasura and Shakatasura, and we wouldn't have all of these stories. So it is Devi herself who saves Lord Krishna from Kamsa. That's very beautiful. Then Pramada. Pramada means negligence. So Devi has also saved us from negligence. And who has she saved? She has saved Lord Ganesha. How? You know Lord Ganesha as Parvati Devi. Lord Ganesha is her son. And one day, Lord Ganesha was very bored. Like some children are bored, they get bored. Lord Ganesha was bored. So he went outside and he saw a cat. And he took this cat and he was teasing this cat. And he was twirling this cat around. And he rolled this cat in mud also. And he thought it was funny. Sometimes children think these things are funny. When they throw a stone at a tree or at a bird or they harm an animal, they think it's funny. Lord Ganesha also was a child. He thought that was funny. When he went home, what happened was he saw Parvati Devi. She had mud all over her. And she was with all scratches everywhere and wounds. And Ganesha said, Mom, what happened? What happened to you? And she said, you did this. It was only you who did this. He said, what do you mean? She said, what did you do with that cat? And Lord Ganesha just kept quiet. And he understood that his mother is no ordinary mother. She's the life force in every single being. And she was also in that cat. That day, Lord Ganesha, his negligence got removed and he understood the true glory of his own mother. So that is how mother takes away our negligence. Then Pravase, in travel. Devi also saves us in travel. Who did she save? She saved our Adi Shankaracharya ji. When he was in Gurukula, when he was growing up, of course, like all the young children then, they were sent to Gurukula to study. And what happens in Gurukula, is you have to go for Diksha, because that is how you sustain yourself. And it is said that you go to 5 houses, and if you don't get Diksha, then you don't eat. So one day Adi Shankaracharya ji was very hungry. And he went to this Devi's house. And he says, Bhiksham Dehi. He said, please give me Bhiksha. And the lady of the house was very sad because she wanted to feed this young student, this young brahmachari. She wanted to feed him. Nobody likes to turn away anybody. But she really didn't have anything in her house. She had nothing. But she had one small amalaka, one small gooseberry. And with her whole heart, she gives it to Adi Shankaracharya. He was not Adi Shankaracharya ji at that time, he was just Shankara. She gives it to Shankara. She says, this is all I have. And she just gives her whole heart to him. And he feels so bad, so sad. He prays to Lakshmi Devi. He says, oh Devi, why is this woman so poor? What happened? And Lakshmi Devi says, it's because of her past karma that she has gotten misfortune in her house. But Adi Shankara prayed and prayed, and he sang his first stotra. He sang his first stotram called Kanakadhara Stotra. And he prayed and prayed to Lakshmi Devi. He sang to her with all his heart. And she made it rain in that lady's house. And she got all golden gooseberries. And so she saved Adi Shankara from hunger. So this is how the Devi saves us from travel. We see also that when we travel, It's always our mothers who will say, pack this, pack that, make sure that there's something on the plane. She comes to us as Lakshmi Devi. Jala, in the water. How does she come to us in the water? She saves Bhishma. She saves the Vasus. If you remember in Mahabharata, she comes as Ganga Devi because the Vasus, the 8 Vasus, were cursed. They were these celestial beings and they stole the cow of Vasishta. Whatever happens, you don't do anything against Vasishta Rishi. They really liked his cow, Nandini, because she was a wish-fulfilling cow and they stole her. And so Vasishta cursed them and said, you have to go back in earth and you will be born there. And that is part of the curse. All 7 of you will be born. And then you know, after that for a short time, then you can come back to this heavenly realm. But the 8th one who stole the cow, he has to stay. And so when those babies were born, you know, Ganga Devi, she put them in the water. She put all 7 of them in the water. And you know the story that Shantanu was very upset because she was putting the babies in the water, but actually she was saving them from their curse. So Ganga Devi saved the Vasus from their curse. And Bhishma was the 8th one. She took Bhishma. She raised Bhishma. She made sure that he learned how to deal with politics. She made sure he learned warfare, archery, everything. She gave him the best of everything. So even in that water, she saves us as Ganga Devi. Huh? Then Anala, fire. She saves us also from fire. How? As Sita Devi, she saved Hanumanji. Just see the glory of Devi. You might ask how. You know, Hanumanji, he burnt the whole Lanka. Everybody knows the story. Hanumanji's tail was set on fire and he burnt the whole Lanka. Now, did you ever wonder, how come Hanumanji's tail didn't burn? He burnt the whole Lanka, but how come his tail didn't burn? What happened was, when Sita Devi found out that Hanumanji's tail was set on fire, she prayed to the Devata Agni and she said, if I have done any tapasya, do not burn the tail of my dear Hanuman. Make that fire be as cool as sandalwood to his tail, so he does not feel the heat. And so therefore, Hanumanji's tail burnt the whole Lanka, but his tail never got burnt because of the tapas of Sita Devi. So even in fire, she saves us. Then Parvati. Even in the mountains, she saves us. How does she save us in the mountains? Parvati is the daughter of Himavan. So she saved all of them because remember, Tarakasura was this asura that was causing so much damage. And this Tarakasura could only be vanquished by the son of Lord Shiva. And so that's why Sati took birth as Parvati, the daughter of the mountains. She took birth as Parvati. And because of her intense tapas, she became united with Lord Shiva. And their son, Skanda, or what we call Kartikeya, finally defeated this Tarakasura. So she, in her form of Parvati, because of her union with Bhagavan Shiva, that Asura got defeated and the world was once again saved. Then Shatru Madhye, in between enemies. So everyone knows that in the Bhagavad Gita, what happens? Arjuna says, Senayor Ubhayor Madhye. Please keep my chariot between these two. the Kauravas and the Pandavas, and let me see who I have to fight. Of course, Lord Krishna puts up the chariot in between and right in front of Bhishma and Drona and Kripa, all the weak spots of Arjuna. And Arjuna breaks down. He really, really breaks down and he's unable to fight. But what happens is Lord Krishna gives to him the Bhagavad Gita. That very Bhagavad Gita is Devi. She comes to us as Bhagavad Gita. And that Bhagavad Gita is that scripture that in our battles of life, in whatever we're facing, it has such practical, such dynamic and insightful lessons as to how to live. So even in that, she comes to us. Then Aranya, in the forest, even in the forest, she comes to us. She saves Yudhishthira. In Virat Parva, in Mahabharata, Yudhishthira is about to enter Virat. And you know the story that he has to be in disguise. And all of them have to be in disguise because it's the last year in exile. And so before he enters Virat, he sings a praise to Durga Devi. He praises her and he says, "O Durga Devi, I am in the forest now and I am about to go into this last year of exile. My kingdom has been taken away from me. We've lost everything. And we are supposed to be in hiding. Please protect me. Please save me." And of course, Devi, she says to him, Tathastu. She comes. It says there also, Devi Uvacha. And she says, "O Yudhishthira, whoever praises me, whoever worships me, I will protect them." And in here it is given, I will read to you a very nice meaning of the word Durga. He says to her, "Durgat tarayase durge, tatvam durga smrita janehi." He says, because you help people to cross the path of difficulty. Durga, dur means difficult. Ga means path or road. Because you help people cross difficulties and challenges, you are going to be called Durga, or you are called Durga. So this is what Yudhishthira tells her. And she promises him. She says, "Whoever worships me, I'll protect them." And so this is how Devi protects us in any which way. She actually protects us. You can see in all of our Puranas and Itihasas and stories, she actually comes to protect us. And there's so many more stories, but next year I'll tell you more. But this is the beauty of Devi. Whatever which way, as a warrior, as a mother, as abundance, as as in the fire, as a nourisher, as everything, as the one who even protects Lord Krishna, she comes. Whatever it takes, she will take that form to come protect us. And therefore, she is our Gati. She's our refuge. Gatistvam, Gatistvam, Tvameka, Bhavani. Now we will see the last verse. So we'll have the last verse chanted.
Anato daridro jararo gayukto mahakshina dinaha sada jadyavaktraha vipatto pravishta pranashta sadaham gatistvam tvameka bhavani gatistvam tvameka bhavani.
Very nice. So here, this is the last verse, and what it says is, we'll see in brief, Anatho, the one who is an orphan. Anatho means the one who doesn't have a lord, a parent. Daridraha means one who is poor. Jara roga yuktaha means the one who has jara, old age, and roga, disease. Mahakshina dinaha, one who is helpless, who is very, very helpless. And sada jardya vaktraha. Jardya vaktraha. Vaktraha means face. Jardya means the one who's pale faced. Vipattau pravishta pranashta sadaham means vipattau, the one who's in calamities, pravishta, who's entering calamities, and again pranashta, exiting them. So we're just entering calamities, exiting, entering, exiting, entering, exiting. And always our life is like that. It's why we get into such challenges, and then when we think we have a breather, again there's another challenge, and we think we have a breather, again there's another challenge. And so that's why he says vipattau pravishta pranashta sadaham. And in all of that, gatistvam tvameka bhavani. Oh Bhavani, you are our refuge. So what we see in this verse, very beautiful, is that the goddess Bhavani, she, at some point in time, we will all lose our parents, or our parents would have lost their parents. And sometimes we feel like there's no one there to offer that motherly love. There's no one there to visit. There's no home to call. But that goddess is our mother. She is our home. She is our everything. And to those who are poor, who feel like they have nothing, they have nowhere to go, she is the goddess of abundance. She is that very Lakshmi Devi. Whenever a daughter is born in the house, whenever a woman gets married, she's Lakshmi. When she is pleased, abundance will flow in your house because she is Lakshmi. And whenever we're endowed with such old age and disease, whatever, she is the one who takes care of us. She is that healer. Through chanting her name, through singing her glories, we just feel healed. We feel at peace. And yes, there are times when we're helpless and we're pale-faced and we are in and out of calamities. But what matters most is how sincerely we call her. And Gurudev gives this very beautiful example, and we will conclude this Ashtakam with this. We all know that in our houses sometimes, in our homes, there would have been our mother would be in the kitchen, or she would be doing something, or she would be working or helping out with something. And the children would be in the room playing. And there's maybe 3 kids, 4 kids, and they're playing and playing and playing. At some point in time, one of the children will cry. One of the children will cry because they're sick and tired of playing. They're sick and tired of playing with toys. They're bored with the toys. And they don't know what to do with themselves anymore. And so they will cry. And they will cry for their mother. And that mother, wherever she is, whether she's working, whether she's in the kitchen, whether she's walking, whether she's in the computer, wherever she is, she will leave every single thing and she will go to that child. And even if there's 3, 4 children there, she will go to that one who is crying. She will go to that one who is crying, and she will pick up that child who is crying and carry him or her in her arms and take that child with her. That's what she does. So we are all like her children in this world. How long will we play with toys? How long will we keep doing what we're doing? How long will we be in this samsara? If we cry to her, cry for her with all sincerity and honesty, then just maybe she'll pick us up and take us with her so that we never come back again. This is the essence of Bhavani Ashtakam. It's to have that longing, that yearning for Goddess, so that she'll just take us, pick us up, carry us, lift us, protect us, save us, and just take us with her, so that we never ever have to return. Because in her lies the seat of bliss, the seat of beauty, and the seat of peace. So today is a very auspicious day. I invoke Durga Devi's blessings that we all in our hearts sincerely long for her, so that she can come soon. So gratitude to all of you for being part of this wonderful session, and you all made it very, very nice with all of you singing and all of you performing puja. So now we will proceed to our puja portion. Someone has requested that we record this. We will record this portion also. So if everybody can make sure to get their materials ready, and we will start. Those of you, who have your wives, your mothers, your daughters with you, please also know that they're also Durga Devi. So today we will also do namaskar to them. I'm also very lucky today. My mom is here, so I'm very happy also. So today we will also do namaskar to them. We'll start with 3 Oms. Om. 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 Atha Vigneshwara Dhyanam Shuklambaradharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye. Now we'll purify ourselves so that our words are clean when we are doing our puja. Om Keshavaya Swaha. Om Narayanaya Swaha. Om Madhavaya Swaha. Om Govindaya Namaha. For the last one, you would touch your right ear as we have always done. Okay. All right. Now we'll do pranayama. So all of you know, you close your left nostril, inhale through the right, about 33 ohms, exhale through the left. Now we will do the Puja Sankalpa. So I will chant, and then let's have Shrikant, maybe you can follow after me. So we can take some flowers and akshata for your Sankalpa. And you keep it in your right hand, and then put it on your left palm, and keep on your right knee. Om Mamo Pata.
Om Mamo Pata.
Samasta.
Samasta.
Duritakshayadvara
Dvaitakshayadvara
Shri Parameshwari Prityartham
Shri Parameshwari Prityartham
Asmin
Asmin
Shubhadine
Shubhadine
Shubhamuhurte
Shubhamuhurte
Jnana Vairagya Siddhyartham
Jnana Vairagya Siddhyartham
Vidya Vinaya Praptyartham
Vidya Vinaya Prapyartham
Shri Satguru Prasada Siddhyartham Cha
Shri Sadguru Prasada Siddhyartham Cha
Dhyana Vahanadi
Dhyana Vahanadi
Shodashopacharehi
Shodashopacharehi
Shri Bhagavati Devi
Shri Bhagavati Devi
Pujam Karishye.
Pujam Karishye.
And you offer that into the plate in front of you. So we are telling Devi, please grant us knowledge, please grant us devotion, please grant us dispassion. And may we love you more and more every day. May we long for you more and more every day. Okay, now we will ring the bell in case there's any negative thing going on. You want to make sure that also goes away. So make noise in your house, make sure all of that is away from you. Now we will do Ganesha and Guru Smaranam. Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Okay. Now we will proceed with the 16 steps. And for after each step, we will say Om Shri Durgaye Namaha. Okay. So first we will do the Dhyanam, and where we contemplate on her form. So you can just look at Durga Devi, your own altar, or you can look here and just contemplate on her form. We'll chant Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanye Trayambake Gauri Narayani Namostute. Now we will do the Avahana. So we'll invite Goddess to our home. Your left hand in your heart and your right hand touching the form of Vigraha of Goddess. Om Shri Durga Ye Namaha.
Om Shri Durga Namaha.
Avahayami. Now we will offer Goddess a seat. So you can take akshata, flower, whatever you have, and we'll offer that to Durga Devi. Om Shri Durga Ye Namaha. Asanam Samarpayami. Good. Then we will now wash the feet of Durga Devi and take some water. Om Shri Durga Ye Namaha. Padyam Samarpayami. Now we will wash the hands of Devi. You can take some water. Om Shri Durga Ye Namaha. Arghyam Samarpayami. Now we will give Devi some water to drink. Om Shri Durgaye Namaha Achamanam Samarpayami. Now we will give Devi a mini bath. So you can, if you have a form with you, you can give her a bath. Or if you have a frame like me, you can dip some your flour into water and you can just sprinkle it on Devi. Om Shri Durgaye Namaha Snanam Samarpayami. And after that, you can make sure to just dry her properly. Now we will offer her a piece of cloth because now we gave her a nice bath. She's come to our home. So we will offer her vastra, piece of nice cloth. Om Shri Durgaye Namaha Vastram Samarpayami. If you don't have cloth, please offer some cotton. That will also do. If you don't have cotton, you can offer akshata. That's also fine. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to offer her some chandan and kumkum. So you can get that ready and we'll go ahead and offer her. Om Shri Durgaye Namaha Gandhan Dharayami Gandhasya Upari Kumkumam Samarpayami. Now, after we've decorated Durga Devi, we will give her some ornaments. So you can take some akshata that serves as her ornaments. So that she looks wonderful and beautiful and nice. Om Shri Durgaye Namaha Akshatan Samarpayami. So now that we've offered her some ornaments, now we'll give her some flowers. So you can take some flower in your hand and we'll offer that to her. Om Shri Durgaye Namaha Pushpam Samarpayami. Okay. Now we're going to praise Goddess, have a beautiful conversation with her in praise. So we will chant her 27 names. So with every name, you all know what to do. We'll make an offering. So this one, we will have Arjav repeat. So Arjav can repeat after me. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So I will chant the name, then please repeat after me. Shri Durga Namavali. Om Shriye Namaha.
Om
Om Shriye Namaha.
Om Umaye Namaha.
Om
Om
Umaye
Umaye
Namaha.
Namaha.
Arjav, can you make your voice louder?
Sure. Sorry.
Okay. Om Bharatyai Namaha.
Om
Om Bharatyai Namaha.
Om Bhadraye Namaha.
Om Bhadra
Om Bhadrayai Namaha.
Om Sharvanye Namaha.
Om Sharvanyai Namaha.
Om Vijayaye Namaha.
Om Vijayayai Namaha.
Om Jayaye Namaha.
Om Jayayai Namaha.
Om Vanye Namaha.
Om
Om Vanyai Namaha.
Om Sarvagataye Namaha.
Om Sarva
Om Sarvagatayai Namaha.
Om Gaurye Namaha.
Om
Om Gauryai Namaha.
Om Varahye Namaha.
Om Varahyai Namaha.
Om Kamalapriyaye Namaha.
Om Kamalapriyayai Namaha.
Om Saraswatye Namaha.
Om Saraswatyai Namaha.
Om Kamalaye Namaha.
Om
Om Kamalayai Namaha.
Om Mayaye Namaha.
Om
Om Mayayai Namaha.
Om Matangye Namaha.
Om Matangyai Namaha.
Om Aparaye Namaha.
Om Aparayai Namaha.
Om Ajaye Namaha.
Om
Om Ajayai Namaha.
Om Shankabharye Namaha.
Om Shanti
Om Shankabharyai Namaha.
Om Shivaye Namaha.
Om
Om
Shiva
Shivayai Namaha.
Om Chandaye Namaha.
Om
Om
Chandra
Chandayai Namaha.
Om Kundalye Namaha.
Om
Om Kundalyai Namaha.
Om Vaishnavye Namaha.
Om
Om Vaishnavyai Namaha.
Om Kriyaye Namaha.
Om
Om Kriyayai Namaha.
Om Shriye Namaha.
Om Shri
Om Shriyai Namaha.
Om Aindraye Namaha.
Om
Om Aindrayai Namaha.
Om Madhumatye Namaha.
Om Madhumatyai Namaha.
Om Shri Durgaye Namaha.
Om
Om Shri Durgayai Namaha.
Now, Durga Devi is getting a little hungry, so we will get ready for Naivedya. Can now light your agarbati. Om Shri Durgaye Namaha. Rupam Agrapayami. Then you can light your deepam. So whatever deepam you have. Om Shri Durgaye Namaha. Deepam Sandarshayami. Now we'll do Naivedya. So whatever fruits you have, sweets you have, whatever you've made, we'll offer it to Goddess. Today we have lots of prasad for Goddess. So we will go ahead and feed her. Om Shri Durgaye Namaha. Naivedyam Nivedayami. Om Pranaya Swaha. Apanaya Swaha. Dhyanaya Swaha. Udanaya Swaha. Samanaya Swaha. Brahmane Swaha. Brahmane Swaha. Brahmane Swaha. And after she's eaten, now we will go ahead and we will do Arati. So you can get your Arati and we will perform the Vedic Arati. Om na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam nema vidyuto bhanti kuto yamagnihi tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. Om Shri Durgaye Namaha. Mangala Nirajanam Samarpayami. So if you're doing at home, you can offer Arati to everyone at home. And if you haven't put Kumkum and Chandan, you can also go ahead and do that. And those in Zoom, you can take from here. So may we have that divine vision to see Goddess everywhere, like how she taught Lord Ganesha. That's what it means when we do this. May we have that divine vision to see you everywhere. Now, before we go to the conclusion, we'll have some bhajans. So today we have Arjav. We will start with Arjav.
रामचरितमानस मिलि गावा तुलसी कृत ये कथा सुनावा जय जय गिरिवर राज किशोरी जय महेश मुखचंद चकोरी जय जय गिरिवर राज किशोरी जय महेश मुखचंद चकोरी जय गजबदन षडानन माता जगत जननी दामिनी दुति गाता जय जय गिरिवर राज किशोरी जय महेश मुखचंद चकोरी नहीं तव आदि मध्य अवसाना अमित प्रभाव बेदु नहीं जाना भव भव विभव पराभव कारिणी विश्व विमोहनी स्वबस बिहारिणी जय जय गिरिवर राज किशोरी जय महेश मुखचंद चकोरी पति देवता सुतिया महू मातु प्रथम तव रेख महिमा मित न सकहि कहि सहस शारदा शेष जय जय गिरिवर राज किशोरी जय महेश मुख चंद चकोरी सेवत तो ही सुलभ फलचारी वरदायनी पुरारी पियारी देवी पूजी पद कमल तुम्हारे सुर नर मुनि सब होहि सुखारे जय जय गिरिवर राज किशोरी जय महेश मुख चंद चकोरी मोर मनोरथु जानहुनी के बसहु सदा उरपुर सबहि के कीन्हु प्रगटन कारण तेहि अस कहि चरण गहे बैदेहि जय जय गिरिवर राज किशोरी जय महेश मुख चंद चकोरी जय गज बदन षडानन माता जगत जननी दामिनी दुति गाता जय जय गिरिवर राज किशोरी जय महेश मुख चंद चकोरी जय गज बदन षडानन माता जगत जननी दामिनी दुति गाता जगत जननी दामिनी दुति गाता जगत जननी दामिनी दुति गाता रामचरित मानस मिलि गावा तुलसी कृत ये कथा सुनावा सुर की देवी सरस्वती माँ सुर की देवी सरस्वती माँ सुर का ज्ञान सिखा दे माँ सुर की देवी सरस्वती माँ सुर का ज्ञान सिखा दे माँ है अंधियारा इस हृदय में सुर का दीप जला दे माँ सुर का दीप जला दे माँ सुर की देवी सरस्वती माँ सुर का ज्ञान सिखा दे माँ सुर की देवी सरस्वती माँ सुर का ज्ञान सिखा दे माँ है अंधियारा इस हृदय में सुर का दीप जला दे माँ सुर का दीप जला दे माँ रीत न जानू गीत न जानू प्रीत में जानू चरणों के रीत न जानू गीत न जानू प्रीत में जानू चरणों के ज्ञान नहीं अज्ञानी हूँ मैं साची राग दिखा दे माँ ज्ञान नहीं अज्ञानी हूँ मैं साची राग दिखा दे माँ है अंधियारा इस हृदय में सुर का दीप जला दे माँ सुर का दीप जला दे माँ सुर की देवी सरस्वती माँ। सास तुम ही आवाज तुम ही हो, लाज तुम ही बस रख लेना। सास तुम ही आवाज तुम ही हो, लाज तुम ही बस रख लेना। तेरे चरण शरण आया हो, पग की धूल बना दे माँ। तेरे चरण शरण आया हो, पग की धूल बना दे माँ। है अंधियारा इस हृदय में, सुर का दीप जला दे माँ। सुर का दीप जला दे माँ, सुर की देवी सरस्वती माँ। पूजन अर्चन वंदन सब कुछ, शब्द सुमन अर्पण माता। पूजन अर्चन वंदन सब कुछ, शब्द सुमन अर्पण माता। प्रेम अकेला बीट तुम ही कर, वरद हस्त स्वीकारो माँ। प्रेम अकेला बीट तुम ही कर, वरद हस्त स्वीकारो माँ। है अंधियारा इस हृदय में, सुर का दीप जला दे माँ। सुर का दीप जला दे माँ, सुर की देवी सरस्वती माँ। सुर का ज्ञान सिखा दे माँ, सुर की देवी सरस्वती माँ। सुर का ज्ञान सिखा दे माँ। है अंधियारा इस हृदय में, सुर का दीप जला दे माँ। सुर का दीप जला दे माँ। है अंधियारा इस हृदय में, सुर का दीप जला दे माँ। सुर का दीप जला दे माँ। सुर का दीप जला दे माँ। सुर का दीप जला दे माँ।
बोलिए श्री सरस्वती मैया की जय. We will have one more bhajan from Lakshmi Narayan.
कामाक्षी कामकोटिपीठ वासिनी। कामाक्षी कामकोटिपीठ वासिनी। मामव कामाक्षी कामकोटिपीठ वासिनी। मामव कामाक्षी कामकोटि पीठ वासिनी। मामव कामाक्षी। कौमारी कुसुमाद्युति। कौमारी कुसुमाद्युति। हेमाभरण भूषाणि। कौमारी कुसुमाद्युति। हेमाभरण भूषाणि। कौमारी कुसुमाद्युति। हेमाभरण भूषाणि। समस्त साम्राज्यदायिनी सद्गुरु गुहा जननी। समस्त साम्राज्यदायिनी सद्गुरु गुहा जननी। समस्त साम्राज्यदायिनी सद्गुरु गुहा जननी। कामाक्षी कामकोटि पीठ वासिनी। मामव Kamalesh Sotari Kamalesh Sotari Kamalakshi Narayani Kamalesh Sotari Kamalakshi Narayani Nada Bindu Kala Swarupini Nada Bindu Kala Swarupini Katyayani Nada Bindu Kala Swarupini Katyayani Kamakala Pradarshini Kamakala Pradarshini Kalyana Gunashalini Kamakala Pradarshini Kalyana Gunashalini Kamakshi Kamakoti Pitavasini Mamava Kamakshi Kamakoti Pita Vasini Vasini eh,
Boliye Kamakshi Maiya ki jai. Very wonderful bhajans from both. We will now conclude our puja. So now we take a flower and we'll offer it to Goddess. Now today's flower is whatever negative thing we want to get rid of that's in our mind, in our heart, whatever we want to get rid of. Let us offer that to Goddess and ask her to take it away. So just take a moment in silence. Think about what that is. Then we'll offer to her. Om Shri Durgaye Namaha Pushpam Samarpayami. Now we're gonna ask for forgiveness. So if anything's wrong, if anything we've done wrong during the puja, during Navaratri, during our lives, whatever we've done wrong, now is the time. If you can stand up, great. If you can't, remember to just do this clockwise 3 times, okay? Yani kani cha papani janmantarakatani cha tani tani vinashyanti pradakshina pade pade. Om Shri Durgaye Namaha Pradakshina Namaskaran Samarpayami. This time, if you have your mom with you, your sister, your daughter, your grandma, please also seek their blessings. We've done so many wrong things to them, so seek their blessings. And your wife also, wife, mother, daughter, everybody, make sure you seek their blessings. Friend also, fine. Now, we will tell Durga Devi that we've done this puja for you today, but let our lives always be a puja unto you. All our thoughts, our words, our deeds. Kayena vacha manasendriyerva buddhyatmana va prakriti swabhava karomi yat yat sakalam parasmai Narayanaayeti samarpayami. Srimannarayanaayeti samarpayami. You can take now a little bit of water in your palm to signify the closing of the puja. Om Tat Sat Brahmarpanamastu. You can drop it in the plate in front of you. And now we will do our Udvasanam. We will ask Devi to come back to our hearts. To come back to our hearts. So your left hand in your heart, your right hand in your frame or your form, whichever is in front of you. Om Tishta Tishta Parasthane Swasthane Parameshwari Yatra Brigadayo Devaha Sarve Tishtanti Me Hridi. Ask her to come back to your heart and stay there. Now we'll say the closing Shanti Mantra. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Wishing everyone a wonderful Navaratri. May Devi bless us with more longing, more sincerity, and love for her. And we'll do this again next year. So all the best and wishing you a happy Vijayadashami. And I will stay back. I think there are some questions, some comments. People are saying thank you for the beautiful pageants. So Hari Om, everyone. And if you need anything, I will stay back just in case.